little bit of history here. 40 years ago, people around the world came together in San Francisco, the birthplace of the United Nations, to celebrate the passage of the United Nations resolution establishing International Day of Peace, or Peace Day. Peace Day continues this weekend, and joining us with more on this observance is David Wick, president of Pathways to Peace. Hey, David, thanks for taking the time to chat with us.
Well, good morning. I'm happy to be here with you, and just a 2 days before the International Day of Peace for
Yeah.
everybody.
Perfect time.
Absolutely.
So can you give us a little history, David, of the International Day of Peace?
Well, it was established in 1981, and Pathways to Peace, particularly the co-founder of Pathways to Peace, Ava Madison, was very involved with the United Nations and with other people in establishing the idea and also the passage of the International Day of Peace in, as I said, in 1981. And fundamentally, it is for all people, all humanity, everyone. And let me tell you what it is about. Peace Day provides a globally shared date for all humanity to commit to peace above all differences and to contribute to building a culture of peace. So the culture of peace is all our values, our thinking, our organizations, how we function. So it really is for all of us, every person, despite our political views, our religion, etc. What does peace mean in our life, and how do we create it? And basically, it's up to each individual because we all make choices. That all outer work begins within, begins by our own choices and how we're going to function in daily, in our lives, our relationships, in our community. But what does the culture of peace mean to us? So the International Day of Peace is a day of coming together and being mindful of this. In 1984, so it was founded in 1981, a resolution, but it wasn't coming out to the world as it was intended. So Pathways to Peace, we planned for a year in 1984, had a great event in San Francisco, a great celebration. And part of that is at noontime is the peace moment of silence, minute of peace, and we call it the peace wave. So at noontime around the world, taking a moment and really thinking about peace in our lives, how are we functioning, what do we want, and it is global now. It's hundreds of millions of people who are engaged with the International Day of Peace around the world. But it's for everybody. Take a minute. It's not just the International Day of Peace. It's really about every day. How do we do this every day in building the peace, the relationships? What kind of quality of life do we want?
Yeah,
Right.
I
Yeah.
love that.
And and on that, how could people kind of cultivate a culture of peace? What ways can we do that?
Well, you just think about, well, just in your relationships. How about your relationships in the studio? How do be more thoughtful with each other, with more compassionate, being able to think about other people and their well-being, and how do you do things collaboratively, or in your community? There you are in Arkansas, um, and what are the things that you can do to help others? There are people in need. There's also really the overarching quality of life, and what does that mean for you? What does that look like?
Yeah.
Um, it really begins every day. The
Right.
choices that we make is all about choice. And actually, the preamble to the UNESCO of the United Nations in I think it was 1945, said, since wars begin in the minds of men and women, it is in the minds of men that the defenses of peace must be constructed.
Yeah. It's
It's
good.
right here.
Yeah, it's in
Right.
the
Everything starts right here.
yeah.
Yes.
David, thank you for joining us and
Yes.
kind of filling us in on what's happening on Saturday at noontime around the globe.
And
Take a
Yes.
moment.
and it's also globally broadcast. And if you go to pathwaystopeace.org, pathwaystopeace.org, there's a place where you can just click on the International Day of Peace, and then there's a place to register to get the URL. We'll
Yeah,
send that
sure.
for to join in on Saturday.
Okay.
Thank
great.
you so much, David.
Yeah, thanks very much for joining us today.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate
Appreciate
it.
it. Yeah.
Bye.